But then the politics is going to be king in 2018. Do you think business, trade, and investments will have a space?
Yes. You have no choice, whether you like it or not, whether you're going to politics or not. The point is that the people, at the end of the day, if the misery index does not turn around, it's going to be difficult for the incumbents to deliver anything or to expect anything. There's a standard law that if the misery index reduces 2 consecutive quarters before an election, the incumbents have difficulty. So we think that if inflation comes down, unemployment reduces as well, then the incumbent stands a very good chance of running away with the election. But if those things don't happen, there will be a struggle.
So Nigerians should watch the misery index?
Absolutely. In states and in the federal, you must watch that. That means inflation must come down and unemployment must come down. If those two things don't come down, boy, it's going to be difficult.
2018 will be the 10th anniversary of the stock market crash.
Yes.
What are your thoughts 10 years on?
What lessons have we learned?
Yes.
We have learned some lessons. First and foremost, margin loans are not being, nobody's making margin loans in Nigeria today. AMCON has come in to stabilize the banking system. The central bank has become more aggressive in terms of managing capital adequacy, liquidity ratios, solvency issues. The central bank has denied banks, stopped banks from paying dividends when there's no cash. But then,
or borrowed money to pay dividends.
Absolutely. So the only thing that is left to be done is to reduce the CRR, return some money, but monitor that the money should go towards projects. I think the governor said it, that for SME-friendly institutions, he is more willing to boost their liquidity by giving them, so that that money is used to actually fund increased output, and that would reduce inflation, because according to the central bank, inflation above 12% is growth retarding. But we've seen that, and we're saying that we should increase their liquidity so that they don't have a liquidity issue. The central bank is on top of the capital adequacy in terms of solvency, and it's asking some of them to increase their capital.
Non-performing loans?
Non-performing loans.
There will be new banking rules globally they will have to comply with in 2018.
I think the non-performing loans, if you take power and oil and gas away, the non-performing loan levels are not abnormal for a country that is in recession. Therefore, if we do the intervention that I was talking about in terms of power, some forbearance, cost-reflective tariffs, forbearance, weeding out the field, then in the oil and gas, restructuring those loans, you've seen what they're trying to do with Nine Mobile and all that, you'll find that the banking system in Nigeria is not in a bad place at all. It's doing pretty well.
In terms of, let's cross some T's and dot the I's.
Yes.
You've spoken about, let's go back to food, fuel, and fear. What do you expect in 2018? Increase in petrol prices? Yes or no?
No. I mean, you can't even afford it. Let us accept the reality. There will be subsidies. The government has come out reluctantly to accept that there's a subsidy. You will subsidize.
It's just that someone is taking care of it.
Yeah, but even the subsidies are not being managed efficiently. So manage it efficiently so that if the importers are paid, say you will not have all this disruption, because we can't afford a disruption.
Okay.
But we cannot afford to increase the price of fuel at this time. 1, because of election. 2, because you have not done the minimum wage. And 3, so I'm being realistic. All right? So let's accept that.
Okay. In terms of electricity, subsidies still exist?
Yes, exists. Cost-reflective tariffs.
Will there be electricity tariff hike in 2018?
There should be, but I don't think...
do you want it?
Oh, yes. If it means that because of cost-reflective tariffs, I'm going to get more regular supply, I'm ready to pay to get regular supply.
So you don't mind?
I don't mind that. And I don't think the public minds that, because it's cheaper to get public power supply than to go and buy diesel and all the rest.
In the 2 to 3 minutes of your time,
yes.
President Buhari will be by now looking at May 29, 2019. Whatever is on his mind, he will have that date on his mind, whether he will remain in office for a second term or not. He hasn't said he's going to contest. So he spoke this morning about electioneering year and politicians, everybody should be decent and focus on the economy. What do you think, President Buhari's countdown to 2019, what do you think will be on his mind by now?
First of all, the date of handover is not as relevant as the date of the election. The date of the election, general election, is not as relevant as the date of the primaries. The primaries mean that you have to have your national convention. we have a year which is packed full with activity.
On the political front.
So you've got to run a government, you've got to run a campaign, and you've got to run
the economy.
So when you put all of that together, his hands are full. So he has the work cut out for him, and I think, quite frankly, the politics, democracy is important. We've seen it happen in Ghana, we've seen happen everywhere, Uganda. So I think that, quite frankly, we should have a very interesting
year for 2018.
2018 is going to be a very interesting year.
Well, we're going to talk about, we need to change lives in the new year.
Yes.
And let's talk about changing lives one at a time when we come back after the break. It's the final part of the first word, Bismarck Rewani on Business Morning.